much. All right, so before you post that next item for sale on Facebook Marketplace, you want to stop and be smart about it. So we are seeing a really scary trend in Cyprus where a quick cash grab is turning into a gunfight. Sherman DeSalle live for us outside of this Costco on Northwest Freeway. And Sherman, crazy story here. The uncle came to save the day.
Listen, Anthony, the uncle came through, man. Just last night, a man showed up to this Costco behind me trying to sell a high-end watch that he had been posting online, only to find some guys trying to take him for the watch and everything else. So take a look at this watch, because that's been a subject online. Deputies reported being a Rolex. People online are saying it's a Folex. But things took a turn when the victim's uncle walked out of the store, saw the robbery happening, pulled his own gun out, and started shooting. He shot two out of the three suspects. All of them were caught about an hour later, including a 16-year-old. Constable Mark Herman says no watch is worth the risk that they saw here last night.
You know, a lot of things in life are just common sense. It's all common sense, no matter what you do. And, you know, for a few $100s, you're risking your life and going and exposing yourself and friends or family to these people you don't know.
So the suspects, 16, 17, and 18. The 17 and 18-year-old, they both went to the hospital. One of them had to get surgery, but all three of them are in some hot water right now. So just a reminder, police zones are designated areas for you to make these online transactions happen. If someone doesn't want to meet you at one of those police stations, that is a red flag. Just do not do it. Back to you.
You know, sure, hey, first and foremost, shout out to the uncle for being there, right? But did he actually, was he in the car with the nephew? How did he get there? And is he facing any charges?
Yeah, we're not sure. We're not sure if he came with him or he just happened to be at the right place at the right time. And as of right now, the only people who are facing some charges are the three guys who pulled up to get this watch.
All right, Sherman DeSalle, thank you for that report. You know, this is a story we report on time and time again. It's not just this case. It's happening all across the area. But, all right, at the top of the show here tonight, we are following some breaking news coming out of North Harris County. A man dies after being shot, crashing his car into a parked vehicle and a home garage. Randy Wallace is there with the very latest on this. So, Randy, what do you know for us at this hour here tonight?
Yeah, Anthony, it's a very strange situation, very strange scene out here. We do know that the victim is only 19, a 19-year-old man. Now, this happened at Pine, Chester, and Timber Haven. Sheriff's officers, deputies were called out here at 6:29. Let me step out of the way so you can still see this is a very active situation. Now, what we do know is the 19-year-old was in a vehicle when he crashed into a vehicle at a residence here and then crashed into the garage. His vehicle covered with bullet holes. He was taken to the hospital and pronounced dead at the scene. At this point, sheriff's deputies say he did not intentionally come to this particular house. They don't believe he knew the people there or that he was trying to get to this particular address. Obviously, there's a lot more questions than answers right now. We don't know, was this a drive-by shooting? Was he a target? How did this even happen? That's what sheriff's deputies are trying to find out tonight. Reporting live from North Harris County, Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
All right, Randy, thank you so much for following that breaking news for us tonight.
Thank you for that weather update. Stay safe out there, McKenna. Now, earlier, McKenna gave us an update on a shooting that happened last summer. It was a night of chaos that shook a southeast Houston community. A mass shooting outside a local bar left 2 people dead and 15 others injured. Now, 7 months later, we are finally seeing a major breakthrough in this case with capital murder charges. Fox 26 reporter McKenna Earnhardt breaks it down for us.
That's right. Today we have new details from court documents that paint a clearer picture of the night of July 13th at Bugs Bar on Dixie Drive. Currently, 2 men are behind bars. Corvus Linton, 24, also known as AO, was already in jail on unrelated charges when he was charged with capital murder this week. His bond is set at $3 million. Joining him is Jesse Alfred, 20, who was arrested by HPD tactical teams on Tuesday. Court records show he sent a text to his girlfriend hours after the shooting morning, saying simply in quotes, "I messed up." But the search is far from over. Police are still looking for 18-year-old Jaquavian Alfred and 19-year-old Joseph Rains. Both are charged with capital murder and should be considered dangerous. The scale of this attack was massive. Investigators recovered 64 fired shell casings at the scene. They believe at least 4 different firearms were used, with shooters firing from 2 separate vehicles, a black Chevy Impala and a green Toyota Camry. As for motive, investigators now believe this was a targeted retaliation against someone the group thought was at the bar, but tragically, it was the bar's owner, beloved barber Paul Junebug Stevenson, and 21-year-old Destiny Butler, who lost their lives. If you have any information on where Rains or Jaquavian Alfred might be, call Crime Stoppers at 713-222-TIPS.
Well, a teen killed during a house party on the city's south side this weekend has now been identified by her family. Fox 26 reporter Angie Rodriguez speaking with the grieving mother.
Mom says she thought she was doing everything right. She had location sharing services turned on. She was keeping up with her daughter through text messages and phone calls throughout the night. But when her daughter Mariah stopped responding, that's when she says she knew something had gone wrong.
Girly girl, like colorful flowers, not like acrylic flowers, but the gel flowers, rhinestones. Like she was like that girl.
It took Mariah Alatorre 45 minutes to do her mom's nails just a few days ago.
When she first started, man, she would take days. And I was like, Mariah, you know? But these, she did it quick, maybe like in an hour. And then I was like, okay, girl, you get in there. I was like, I'm not going to go to my nail tech no more. You're going to be my nail tech.
But instead of planning a refill, Mariah's mom, Yadi, will now be planning a funeral.
Her grandma says she left on the day of friendship and love.
Because that's what Mariah loved. You know, she liked friendship and she was very loving.
According to Houston police, 17-year-old Mariah Alatorre was caught in the crossfire at a party on the city's south side Valentine's Day morning. Yadi says Mariah was out with friends at an event off Dag Road when someone started shooting.
I believe that everybody was her friend. Like, I would tell her, like, some people are not your friends. And she would just like, no, you just don't know them. They're my friends. And I wish she just understood that, you know, my mom knows best.
Now the family says they're pushing forward, not because they can.
We won't get to see her go to prom. We won't get to see her walk a stage. We won't even get to see her get married.
But because they say that's what Mariah would have wanted. And I reached out to HPD for more information on this case. We know as of right now, there has not been a suspect detained. We'll keep you updated on Fox Local. Angie Rodriguez, Fox 26 News.
Here in Houston, new details tonight after Cleveland, Texas police say what first appeared to be a single vehicle crash is now tied to a stolen truck and a handgun, also a teen. Fox 26's Leslie Delvesport joining us from HPD headquarters with the latest.
Yeah, Caroline, what started as a crash call around 3 this morning turned into something much bigger. So when officers arrived at East Houston Street near Cleveland High School, they found a white 2025 Ford F-150 stuck in the ditch. Police say a 16-year-old boy was the driver. Now, during the investigation, officers learned the truck had been reported stolen earlier in the night out of the Houston area, and a 9mm handgun was found inside the crashed truck. Authorities also say the teen is allegedly connected to a shooting that happened earlier in the Kingwood area. Cleveland police also contacted Houston police to assist, and the teen was later released into HPD's custody.
Officers responded to the call. They found an adult male with a gunshot wound to the neck or face area. He was immediately transported to a nearby area hospital. Officers were able to obtain a little bit more information on the shooting, how the incident took place. According to our victim, he told officers that he was working in his garage shed on his bike when he heard a loud bang and started to feel pain in his jaw or his neck area. He turned around and saw his son, who is our suspect in this case, was standing over him with a gun in his hand. The suspect initially fled the scene. Officers formed a perimeter, started looking for him. Eventually, Cleveland PD advised HPD that they had our suspect in custody.
Now, HPD is still investigating this case, so if you have any information, you are urged to call them. Reporting live from HPD headquarters, Leslie Delaspore, Fox 26 News.
A Houston woman is recovering tonight after a hail of gunfire ripped through her bedroom while she slept. Now, it happened just before 5:30 this morning on McHenry Street.
Police now say they don't believe that this was a random act of violence. Joining us live from Southeast Houston is Sherman DeSalle. And Sherman, do we know yet who's behind this shooting?
Not yet, Caroline Rashi. Detectives tell us that this could possibly be a targeted attack. One thing that we have yet to find out exactly who is behind this shooting, but there is a possible relationship, according to police, between the person who fired the shots and the person who was in the home. We haven't seen a lot of activity up until the last 2 minutes before we started our 5 p.m. broadcast of people getting out of a car and going inside of the home. But here's what we know so far. Shots were fired about 5:30 this morning on the corner of McHenry, near the corner of McHenry and Linda. Neighbors say they were jolted awake by the sound of multiple rounds hitting the house. One woman was struck in the bedroom, and detectives say a suspicious car and a person on foot was spotted on camera just moments before that trigger was pulled. That woman's listed in stable condition right now, but police say that the situation could have been a lot worse given how many people were inside the home at the time.
This is always going to be a very dangerous situation, so for the public, always be aware of the suspicious people, suspicious vehicles in the area, and always contact the police.
So at this hour, police are still working to piece together all of the things that they have, which includes witness statements and video clips of different surveillance cameras across the house, across the neighborhood. As soon as they get a valid description of that vehicle, we will share it with you, the public. Reporting from Southeast Houston, Sherman DeSalle, Fox 26 News.
Only on Fox here tonight, we are hearing from the family of a man and business owner known for giving back. He was killed on Houston's northwest side late Friday. A 21-year-old has now been charged in this case. Fox 26's Leslie Delaspore is joining us now with more details on this. Leslie.
Yeah, Anthony, that's right. So we're live outside of Days Elevated. The business sits here in Houston's northwest side on North Houston Roslyn. I'm going to step out and show you. As you can see, a memorial is starting to grow in his honor. Now, the family told me they will be having a benefit this weekend at the Zone on Hammerly, but right now they're just trying to pick up the pieces. 44-year-old Fernando Gallardo was killed Friday the 13th here inside Days Elevated. Investigators have charged 21-year-old Adon Garcia with capital murder in this case. Court documents say Garcia tried to rob Gallardo and killed him here inside the business. Fernando's brother Manuel was the one who called 911, and we spoke with Manuel earlier, who says his brother was a giver and helped the community in more ways than one here.
There's a daughter without a dad. There's a son without a father. 2 sons. There's a brother without a brother, a sister without a brother, nephews without uncles. And it's a tragedy. If you didn't know him, you would think he was a little bit on the rougher edge. But once you got to know him, he was loyal to you. He was your friend. Did he have errors in his life? Yes. But he wasn't trying to see perfection. He was trying to seek progress. So anybody that came in here, whether they were having a bad day, whether they wanted a drink of water, whether it was a postman coming in, getting some water, whether it was the neighbor, looking for something, we supported the community. And for the business, to be honest with you, I'd love for it to continue. My heart's there. My heart's broken. I can't answer that question. We spent a lot of time and effort in creating this brand, only for somebody to take it away.
And again, the benefit will be this weekend. So for more information, if you'd like to support this family during this very tragic time, you can go to our website at fox26houston.com. Reporting on Houston's northwest side, Leslie Delaspore, Fox 26 News.
On tonight's Breaking Bond, a 20-year-old charged with murdering a 21-year-old acquaintance violates his bond conditions twice, and the court takes no action. Fox 26's Randy Wallace joining us live from the courthouse tonight with the latest in his ongoing series. Randy.
Anthony, now, according to court documents, the DA's office wanted Xavier Garcia's bond set at $500,000, but 487th Judge Stacey Allen Barrow set bond at $100,000.
Whatever you want, it is what it is.
Elijah Edwards was 1 day shy of turning 22 when he was shot to death April 28th of last year.
Elijah was a good kid, smart, loving. He'd take the shirt off his back for you.
Loved to help family, was always first. Somebody had a problem, he was first to be over there to help.
Going from hanging with him every day to now not seeing a text or anything, you know, it hurts.
Police say Elijah was gunned down by someone he knew, 20-year-old Xavier Garcia.
I'm empty. I feel like half my insides are just gone.
Months after being released on a $100,000 bond, court documents show Garcia violated his bond conditions twice.
On the first violation, the bond was revoked. And then 2 days later, the judge reinstated it. So that didn't last too long.
Court documents show one of Garcia's bond violations was for cutting off the strap on his electronic monitoring device.
If you remove, destroy, or tamper with an ankle monitor, you're subject to criminal charges. I was kind of surprised he was not.
The court did nothing to Garcia, not even raise his bond amount.
I think that trust the process is crap. Sorry for my language. I feel like he has no regard for rules and regulations, and he's getting a slap on the wrist.
Just shocking and devastating to see this happen within the system.
How do you feel about this?
It sucks that we're going through this, and, you know, with everything that's going on, I mean, it's pretty horrible.
Why have bond conditions if you're not going to enforce them, especially for someone who's on bond for murder and has clearly demonstrated he's not going to abide by his curfew and his ankle monitor.
Happy birthday to you. He's walking around free and I don't have my baby.
Now, why did Garcia allegedly cut the strap off his electronic monitoring device? Well, according to his bond condition violation report, Garcia said his mental health and the device gave him a bad rash. Reporting live from the courthouse, Randy Wallace, Fox 26 News.
Only on Fox here tonight. A Baytown family is mourning the loss of a beloved grandfather killed in a motorcycle accident about a week ago. The family of Joseph Smith says he was involved in the community and worked for Barbers Hill ISD. Fox 26's Jillian Hartman spoke with the family about the legacy he leaves behind.
Well, Joseph Smith was a devoted family man. He lived in the Baytown area, and his family meant everything to him. He died in a tragic motorcycle crash on February 9th, just hours after meeting his new granddaughter for the first time.
He had gone to the hospital to see his new grandbaby. He had at that point, 2-day-old grandbaby. His day had gone beautiful. He had a beautiful day that day. And yeah, and then just tragedy struck, and we're just all so sad and confused on how this happened.
The family of Joseph Smith are heartbroken. They say on Monday night, February 9th, Smith died in a motorcycle accident on I-10, and he was the only one involved in the crash. They say his loss leaves a hole that can never be filled.
And he was very involved in the community. He worked for Barbers Hill ISD. He worked for the maintenance department. Very funny. Kind. Had a good heart. Kept me in line. He loved to joke around. He was a supporter of BACA, which stands for Bikers Against Child Abuse, and he was working on to be a patch member. So he wanted to fight for kids that needed help in life. And he was that way with his own family, and he was that way with complete strangers too.
They say Smith was also generous, loved riding his motorcycle, and enjoyed bringing happiness to others. He also worked at the High Voltage Ice Creamery.
He was more than just scooping ice cream. He loved to see, it gave him great joy to see the people's faces, even adults, of how happy ice cream made them. It's been really, really hard to sit here and know that he's gone. Trying to live life without him is going to be very difficult, but we definitely will carry on his legacy of being a good person, going out into the community and doing things and being involved.
The family is hoping to get more answers about the crash. Right now, Houston police are investigating. I'm Jillian Hartman, Fox 26 News.
First, we start with the crash in North Harris County. It has left a Harris County deputy dead. A Montgomery County deputy arrested at the same scene is now facing DWI charges.
Well, this collision happening on Aldine Westfield east of the Hardy Toll Road. Fox 26's Leslie Delaspore is at the scene where this all happened. Leslie.
Yeah, it's a very tragic accident here, and it happened just behind me. 33-year-old Ricky Zaragoza, a Harris County Sheriff's deputy, was killed in this very spot while off duty, and police are trying to piece together what happened. But we do want to warn you, the surveillance video you're about to see could be graphic to some. So we learned that 27-year-old Aylin Balderas, a Montgomery County Sheriff's deputy who was also off duty, has been charged with DWI. Investigators say the two had just left an establishment, and authorities confirmed Balderas was following Zaragoza, who was riding his personal motorcycle when the crash happened here on Aldine Westfield Road near Ciderwood. Now, right now, it's still unclear how exactly the accident occurred or who may be at fault. Now, we're also told another driver involved stayed at the scene but did not show any signs of impairment. Now, Balderas, the Montgomery County Sheriff's deputy, was taken into custody, but this is still an active investigation. And we actually spoke with Montgomery County Sheriff's Office, and they sent us a statement. We want you to take a look at your screen. That statement reads in part, the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office wishes to make it clear that we have no credible information that the MCSO deputy was involved in the crash and was not involved in the Harris County deputy's death in any way. Reporting in Spring, Leslie Delaspore, Fox 26 News.
Developing here tonight, police say a drug dealer in Atascocita got shot while trying to sell some products. Security video captures the moments before and after this shooting. Fox 26's Karis Belger has been covering this shooting all day long. She's now joining us live to give us some more details, and she's in that area here tonight. Karis.
Yeah, Anthony, this all happened in an Atascocita neighborhood. Now, investigators say the victim pulled into the cul-de-sac in his car in order to meet with the three suspects. Now, this all happened around 4:30 in the afternoon, and the deal was all arranged on a social media app. That's what investigators told me. But by the time they arrived on the scene, both the victim and the suspect were already gone. Again, this happening all around 4:30 in the afternoon. Deputies were called to Bedell Bridge Lane in Atascocita for the shooting, and security video shows a black car pulling into the cul-de-sac. Now, investigators say the driver had agreed to meet up with the suspects on foot for what appears to be an illegal THC vape transaction. Now, moments later, the suspects walked into the neighborhood, and deputies say one suspect pulled out a gun and demanded the merchandise, and the driver struggled with him over the firearm. Just take a listen.
During that time, the victim, who was the driver of the vehicle, and the suspect with the firearm got into a brief tussle over the firearm, at which point a second suspect who was on scene punched the driver in the face, causing him to lose control of the firearm. At that time, the suspect with the firearm fires one time at the driver, striking him.
Now, deputies say the driver was hit in the upper left shoulder. He did take himself to the hospital for treatment, and he is listed currently in serious but stable condition. And after that shot, the car sped away. Deputies say the suspects ran away on foot. They have not told me whether they have caught the suspects at this time, but they are described as three black males in either their late teens or their early 20s. And investigators say the victim did not live in the neighborhood. Neither, they say, did the suspects, at least at the beginning of this investigation. However, they are continuing to look into things. Anyone with information should reach out to authorities. But they also believe that this was an isolated incident. I'm Karis Belger for Fox 26 News.
All right, welcome to the news feed. I'm Caroline Collins. Thanks so much for joining us. Well, West University Place police are warning residents of a string of burglaries tied to an organized crime network. Police holding a public safety meeting tonight addressing safety concerns in that community. Fox 26's Jillian Hartman was at that meeting, joining us live in West U tonight with those details. And Jillian, West U usually feels like a pretty safe place.
That's right. It's pretty quiet here, and I can tell you the meeting tonight was standing room only. It was packed. Neighbors had a lot of questions. They were able to ask some questions and also share their concerns. Police say they do want folks here in this area to be on high alert because they say an organized crime network is behind several burglaries here in Westview. Take a look at this. So West University Place Police held a public safety meeting tonight. The chief says the South American Theft Group is responsible for 7 burglaries in Westview since January 2025. The group has also targeted other areas in Houston, Texas, and across the country. And police say they are working with multiple agencies on this investigation. Now, in the meantime, they do plan to enhance patrols and add virtual gate cameras. Police shared new information tonight in these cases, saying there's a common pattern. Suspects have moved cameras to avoid detection, punch windows, and use frequency jammers to disrupt security cameras and alarms. And neighbors gave us their takeaway of tonight's meeting, plus the chief shared some advice to residents. Take a listen.
Y'all should know who your neighbors are. Y'all should watch after your neighbors. If you don't know your neighbors, please introduce yourself to them and talk to them. And when you go out of town, make sure the other knows that you're leaving to go out of town, because it's important that everybody watches everybody else's back.
I appreciated the communication. We feel like we're pretty safe at our home. We take good care of ourselves and are aware of safety precautions. But I'm just glad the city's communicating with the citizens, and I hope that more people come to the next meeting.
Well, Jillian, that's definitely concerning for people who live in these neighborhoods, and some good points brought up by law enforcement tonight about getting to know your neighbors. But have there been any arrests or suspects identified in these cases?
So we did learn that police actually arrested a suspect in a case that happened back in February 2025. Take a look at this. So police say that they arrested this man, Ignacio Contreras, broke into a home along Sewanee Avenue, and they say he stole jewelry. Now, police also tell us there is a person of interest. We told you about this last night, Christian Rubio Pizarro, and Westview police tell us that they have not charged him in any of their cases, but HPD have arrested him on different charges, and right now he remains in jail on an immigration hold. Caroline.
All right, Jillian Hartman reporting live for us in Westview tonight. Thank you.
We begin with a Houston-based midwife who was accused of violating the state's total abortion ban. She was in court here today fighting to reopen her clinics. McKenna Earnhardt is in the studio here for us at this hour to break down what happened today. McKenna, what are the justices saying in this case?
Yeah, Anthony, so arguments began at 9:30 this morning at the Harris County Courthouse. Attorneys for Maria Rojas are fighting to overturn a civil injunction that effectively ended her career. Now, this is a landmark case, marking the first time a healthcare provider has been criminally charged under Texas's near total abortion ban since Roe v. Wade was overturned. Rojas, a longtime Houston midwife, operated clinics in Waller, Cypress, Katy, and Spring, serving primarily Spanish-speaking uninsured families. Last year, Attorney General Kim Paxton sued her, claiming she ran an illegal cabal of clinics performing abortions and practicing medicine without a license. The state's primary evidence, the possession of a drug called misoprostol. While the state calls it an abortion pill, the defense argued today it's a standard legal tool used by midwives every day for labor and miscarriage care. But this isn't just a civil fight. Rojas is also facing 15 felony counts that could carry a life sentence. She spent 10 days in jail last year and is still wearing an ankle monitor today. During today's hearing, the judges seemed skeptical of the state's case. They questioned if there was enough hard evidence to shut those clinics down, especially since the state relied heavily on the fact that Rojas pleaded the fifth more than 150 times during her initial testimony.
The finding here is that Ms. Rojas and her clinics performed abortions and were practicing medicine without a license. I mean, that's the reasoning. It's very simple reasoning, and I don't think there's really much more that the court would need in terms of, additional findings to support that.
The temporary injunction is fundamentally flawed for 3 reasons. 1, it is defective under Rule 683. 2, the Attorney General had no authority to seek it. And 3, the state failed to plead and prove its entitlement to a temporary injunction.
You have a record that's frankly very thin on the evidence. I mean, you have Fifth Amendment pleas And then you have 2 affidavits from another case that were admitted, which I'd like you to address how in the world those came into evidence. There's not a lot there.
Now, the judges didn't issue a ruling immediately. That could take weeks, but the stakes couldn't be higher. If the court sides with Rojas, it could set a major precedent for how the state investigates healthcare providers. Now, if they side with Paxton, those Houston area clinics will likely stay closed for good. There's a criminal status hearing set for June 3rd in Waller County. I'll keep you updated. For Fox 26, I'm McKenna Earnhardt.
It's a violent shooting erupting in northwest Harris County tonight. Investigators say it all happened beside a basketball court on Swartz Creek Road in the Heritage Village neighborhood. 3 people were hit. Fox 26's Randy Wallace is live at the scene. And Randy, authorities believe they know what sparked this, and that video, that surveillance video, is pretty intense.
Yeah, it is, Carolina. And, from what the captain told us out here on the scene was he believes it was a drug deal gone awry. Those were his words. Now, when they first came out here, there really wasn't much of a scene, and they didn't really have any witnesses that they could interview. So they're relying heavily on ring cam videos from homes in the area. Video like this.
Here behind me at this residential park, it looks like 2 individuals were engaged in some sort of illegal narcotics transaction that went awry. During the course of it, we were able to identify a brief struggle between the suspects and the victim, and at which point both exchanged gunfire with each other before fleeing the scene.
I mean, that's pretty clear that they are shooting at each other. The question is, where does this third person come in that was shot? It's not clear how he got shot and how he sort of fits in with the other 2. Now, we're being told one of the shooting victims is in serious condition with a gunshot wound to the neck, is expected to survive. We're not sure about the other 2 victims. And, of course, the investigation continues. Caroline?
It really is just shocking to see that play out on that doorbell video. It's unreal, Randy. And are the deputies seeing an increase in drug deals in this area specifically? Did they say anything about that?
The captain was asked that exact question, Caroline, and he said that they are seeing an increase. In fact, there was another shooting following a drug deal gone awry in Precinct 4, not in this particular area, but in Precinct 4. Caroline?
All right, Randy Wallace live for us there tonight. Thanks for that report.
A massive illegal gambling sting has sent shockwaves throughout the city of Hitchcock tonight. This is following a series of raids, including one at City Hall. Mayor Chris Armacost is facing felony charges for his alleged role in a nearly $1 million enterprise. But the mayor isn't just the face of the city. He's also serving as the assistant superintendent for Hitchcock ISD. Now, while he has since bonded out of jail, the fallout is just beginning. Fox 26's McKenna Earnhardt is in the studio with us. Now, McKenna, the sheriff is claiming the mayor was personally involved in this operation.
Yeah, Rashi, that's the allegation, and the sheriff says he feels personally misled. The Galveston County Task Force seized 749 machines and over $400,000 in cash this week. They executed 21 search warrants across 20 locations, including game rooms, convenience stores, and a washateria. Confirmed with the Chamber of Commerce, 2 have been owned by Armacost. Sheriff Jimmy Fullen says he met with Mayor Chris Armacost months ago to give the city a chance to clean itself up. Instead, he claims the city was using $900,000 in illegal gaming revenue to pad its annual budget.
I will tell you this, I was thoroughly convinced, and so was my chief deputy, when the mayor said that they were addressing it and they were going to address the problem. And when I found out that we had an actual warrant on him, it surprised me. It really did. Money is the root of all evil. People know these game rooms have a lot of money. They know people walking out, chances are they got money in their pocket. There have been aggravated robberies going on in Hitchcock that have not been reported. It's not just your mom and pop place. These are criminal enterprises, and we're going to shut them down.
But the mayor is drawing a line in the sand. In a new statement, Armacost says he's being charged as a private citizen and business owner, not as a public official. He says his work at City Hall and the Hitchcock Independent School District remains unimplicated, adding he will fight these charges in the court, not in the media. The district attorney isn't stopping here. He says he's coordinating with federal partners for a potential forensic audit of the city's books. Now, as for the mayor's job, that now rests on the city charter and the HISD board's next move. I'm McKenna Earnhardt with Fox 26.